It is Tuesday. I feel like I have to figure out a better way to intro it. But welcome, everybody. So happy to see everybody on this Tuesday evening in Spooktober.
Yes, it
Spooktober. I mean, what more do you want?
I know.
Spooky. Welcome, everybody. Calls from Beyond. I'm your host, Austin Alvarez from the Truly Bizarre.
We are decided to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. I am joined by your fabulous co-host, Miss Noah from the Black Cauldron.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
Free the Menendez brothers, right?
Oh, my God. Can we talk about it?
We can't hear it in a minute. I want to introduce George. We got George up in here.
Free the Menendez brothers.
God damn, George just takes us right back to it. We got Danette.
That was your cue.
Then I'm going to have to start muting my microphone if we're going to keep
That was your cue.
She's down with the sickness.
She got the suds, y'all.
To be serious before we start, I just want to make sure we give all of our thoughts over to everybody down in Florida and down in the South. I know you guys are really going through it. We just want to let you know that you guys are in our thoughts 100%. I mean, it's keeping us up at night.
No,
worrying
seriously,
about you
I went
guys.
down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
And I needed to because I've seen a lot of people on social media, TikTok to be exact, with their privilege of not even having to experience such a catastrophe and knowing the fate of what's going to happen, judging people that did not evacuate. Evacuation takes money. It takes money. Shame on all the airlines that are not stepping up and getting their head out their asses and pockets and giving free flights to evacuate people. Instead, they price gouge. So my deepest thoughts, like I am praying for my Floridians because I know a lot of them. I have some Floridians on Patreon.
Yep.
I know there are Floridians in the chat. I'm worry sick. Like it gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I the way I relate this is like when the Titan sub was down there and they had the broadcast with like a ticker for how many minutes of oxygen they had left.
Yes.
Like that's how I feel anxious for them.
Yeah, because I mean, I was on TikTok and somebody was like, what am I supposed to do? I have kids. The best I could do is go get the life jackets. And I'm like,
that's
what? I know. I said, wait a minute. And then the meteorologist, when he's on national television explaining like how catastrophic or this catastrophe, how bad it is, that is badder than bad, and starts crying.
Yeah, I'm finding that quote really quick from Reddit that I saw.
It just makes me
okay. So somebody, a meteorologist on Reddit posted this on the r/weather forum. It says 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this was yesterday or last night. It says this is nothing short of astronomical. I am at a loss for words to meteorologically describe you 897. I don't know the measurement of pressure, but 897 units of pressure with 180 mile an hour max sustained winds and gusts of 225 miles an hour. This is now the second strongest hurricane ever recorded by pressure on this side of the world. The eye is tiny at nearly only 3.8 miles wide. This hurricane is nearing the mathematical limit of what Earth's atmosphere can produce. Yes, there's a mathematical limit, and we are nearing that.
Yeah. And I can't, like, I cannot. I see some people in my chat saying it's going to hit them tomorrow. I'm praying for y'all, for real. And it's so crazy. I always wanted to move to Florida, and I was always a little hesitant because I only been to Florida whenever I'm going down there on vacations and cruises. It's so beautiful.
There's a lot of culture, too.
Yeah,
it's a really culture-rich
It's beautiful,
state.
yes. And I just always been a little nervous.
I don't know if they can hear us, but George found...
Yeah.
They can hear you guys.
This is him crying. Yeah, he's... I don't think the video itself is unmuted.
Yeah,
He's
posted on social media quote.
I apologize. This is just horrific.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real words to describe it. And I know us saying so much only does so much. And if there was more we could do, I'm almost certain we would. But definitely, please stay safe, everybody. I know it's easier said than done, but please stay safe.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard because this is like worse than Katrina. They're saying like this is the worst of the worst.
Well, Katrina was really bad because I believe it was only a Cat 3, but it was really bad because the infrastructure was just not taken care of.
It's not there. So
this is legitimately just a super storm.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that everyone in the chat, please, 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 religious or not, please pray for our Floridian brothers and sisters. They are going through it. They don't know what's going to happen. Their mayor literally got on TV and said, if you do not evacuate, you will die. And I'm just like, what is going on here? Why isn't these airlines offering free flights to evacuate these people that are in the A and B and C areas that is going to be hit the hardest? It's crazy. It is. Yeah. It's almost like disgustingly crazy how no one is attempting to help other than saying, oh, evacuate. Well, if they could, they would. There's no more gas in Florida. Come on now. But yeah, I will be praying. I know Austin will be praying. George, Danette, Mr. Fresh is not here today. But we've been praying and just keeping up with the news. So, but speaking of Mr. Fresh not being here, I know he's not in the chat either.
I saw him.
Oh, is he? He's
on
in
yours.
Here?
On yours.
Oh.
He was wanting to know where my
like,
shirt. He said, "That's a cute shirt, Austin. Where'd you get it from? Spirit Halloween."
He's here. So my baby had a choir concert.
Everybody,
tonight.
give it up. W's in the chat for
Maxie,
for Little Cauldron.
Yeah, my
Treble
little Cauldron.
Clefs in the chat.
Yeah,
Treble Clefs in the chat. Or
yes.
Do you know what range she is?
No.
Okay. All right.
All I know is she turns on that music, and I be like, "Baby, please." Hey,
just be glad she wasn't like me in recorder club in 5th grade.
Oh my gosh, or that she's not into drum, because she's one of those children that really like hones in on her skills. She will write a screenplay, write the song, and then we all got to listen to it. And I'm just like, you know what? She's a superstar.
She's just letting you know about her greatness. I don't know what else to tell you.
She goes to performing arts school, and she is definitely. She was a little nervous whenever we dropped her off. But I think she's gonna do just fine.
It happened from one musician to another. You get over it eventually. I never ended up getting over it, but I like to say you do.
Yeah,
Austin still cries before every show.
Before every show, I was in the back hyperventilating.
Yeah.
And I don't have to see anybody in person either.
Yeah.
When I would play shows, it was there were times where, and it would get really scary, where I'd get so nervous I couldn't feel my hands.
Oh, God.
And I'm a guitar player. I need to feel my hands. I need to be able to feel them.
Yep.
And there was one time where we were playing, I think we were playing a festival here in town, and there was like a ton of people, and I was sitting there, I was like, oh, am I really about to go do this? Am I really about to go do this?
That was Max today. She came in the house. I thought she had an attitude. I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, I'm nervous. And I'm like, I said, oh, excuse me.
Is she asking for only green M&Ms?
I don't know.
Have we gotten there?
No, we haven't gotten there quite yet.
That means there's something.
If she's this nervous, and she's a theater and choir major, so I couldn't imagine whenever she's going to have her own lines and all that other stuff. But I'm sending well wishes. I know she is not watching, but I know Mr. Fresh is there with her. Yes. She'll do just fine.
She did get to come by. She got to say hi. We did get to say good luck in person.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so that was very, very nice. My
little twin.
The Menendez brothers.
Yeah. Now
you've been working on some heat, which is why this is fresh in your mind. You've been working on some heat lately.
Okay. First of all, free the Menendez brothers. I'm working on a project I can't really talk a lot about, but
you guys will see it soon, though.
Yes, you'll see it soon. But that's crazy. That first of all, I watched the Netflix series like everybody else, and it was so much like
watch it.
What?
I saw parts of it, but I already knew their story. Like I'd watched.
We think we know their story. Do we really?
I just know that they are the only serial killer, or not serial killers, but true crime killers that are on a basketball card.
Yes. Did you see that?
The card? Yeah, I've seen the card.
It is insane.
George, did you know about that?
No.
So the Menendez brothers are in the back. I believe it's a Michael Jordan card. They're sitting courtside.
Yeah.
Because they right after they killed. It was right after they killed their parents.
Yeah.
Because they got the inheritance or whatever, and then they were like,
ball
out. Which I mean,
oh, you mean
honestly, inheritance or just money that was rightfully theirs? Or
spiritual reparations? What do you mean? Right. I mean,
and then Michael Jordan
dunked on them. It was Michael Jordan, but it was somebody. And you know, a lot of things that we see on TV are dramatic sized or
Menendez brothers basketball card. I'm finding it right now.
when you watch the lower scale documentaries and listen to their court testimonies,
Oh, it was Mark Jackson
Mark Jackson
from New York, from the Knicks.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
pretty clear that they should have been out of jail a long time ago. If we let Gypsy Rose out of jail,
Of all of them, we let Gypsy Rose out.
of them,
He's got a big wiener. Okay, thanks, Gypsy.
Right,
Thanks for that. All right, glad we got to know that, Gypsy.
right? To me, it was just like these people were way more traumatized and suffering from PTSD, and it's just ridiculous. It really is, and I hope that they get to. They're gonna go back to court though. They announced that.
Did they get a motion
Yes.
for a retrial, or
Yeah,
at least to revisit their trial?
Yeah, because the second trial they were like saying it was a lie, but one of the brothers wrote a letter in 1988, like 8 months before the murders, to a family member and was like, he won't stop it. Before it was even, and then one of the Menudo band members was like, he diddled me too. So now they have to see if they're gonna retry.
How is the diddler involved? No, I'm just kidding.
That's the new word.
How is he tied in?
You know, so
That's what we need to know.
I feel like I definitely believe after probably almost a week of looking at different documentaries and reading court testimonies, like court dockets, this was an injustice, low key. Like, they've paid their debt back to society. I'm not saying it's right. I just say I understand because everybody knew about it.
Well, did you
Everyone
see
knew.
about that death penalty, Marcellus Williams?
Oh, another injustice.
Yeah, we
I'm
talked
so
about
sick
that.
of everybody.
We talked about that on the legal podcast that I produce, and they were like, this guy, like, even the parents of the victim, was like, we think he shouldn't be put to death. We don't think he did it.
Yeah.
Because new evidence came out, and then there was, I remember, because when we were recording it, it was the day before we recorded the episodes, the day before. And we were like, oh, okay, well, it's getting looked at again. And then by the time we finished recording that podcast, they said, they were like,
it's
no,
ridiculous. You know, this country got to do better in some ways. Whenever it comes to our legal system, I mean, I understand some things are egregious. Okay, I mean, I looked at the autopsy pictures of their parents. It was egregious. But when it comes down to things like
there's
Marcellus, that was just
yeah, I think if you're gonna, because I don't necessarily disagree with the death penalty, but I think if you are gonna put somebody to death, it has to be like so undeniable in evidence that like you're like, oh, like there's like, oh, we have video evidence of like George killing somebody. Okay,
okay,
all right, George. There's
and
no
no
disproving that. Like,
right. But it is so crazy because even with the Menendez brothers, there was evidence. I mean, their dad had nude photos of them, you know, so it's like, how is this even a thing? So they are gonna do a motion, and it's gonna be a hearing, I believe, November 2nd.
Okay,
and they'll decide if they're going to vacate their sentence or if they're gonna retry it. They need to vacate it, in my opinion. Like, time served. Let them boys out of jail. Send everybody else to hell, because there ain't no way.
Today. This is from US Weekly, and then, of course, Amazon ad, of course, Big Pharma. When is the court hearing for the Menendez brothers murder case review, and could they be resentenced? New court hearing will decide whether Eric and Lyle Menendez's murder case could result in a resentencing or possibly even a new trial. But does that mean the brothers could be released from prison? Announced on October 4th that a new hearing has been set amid new evidence for Lyle and Eric's murder case. Eric and Lyle's legal team previously filed a petition with the court after singer Roy Rosseo alleged he was drugged and diddled when he was a teen by the brother's father, Jose Menendez. So he's got a track record.
Yeah. And Menudo was not a little thing. Like, that was not
Ricky Martin, guys.
Right. That's not a little.
That's like the Mexican Destiny's Child.
Oh, right. Exactly. So I'm like, I'm very, very disappointed. And
was it Mexican? That might have been rude.
No. Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Latin. But, I mean, it was still Latin. But
still Latin, so it's okay.
Right.
Like,
it's the same.
You call them Mexican.
Yeah. So it was like they were the Latin B2K, and if you know, you know. And it's just unfortunate. And I know victims come out whenever they feel comfortable, but this happened in the 80s before the parents were even murdered by their sons. And if this was a testimony he would have gave back then, I'm wondering, would the fate of the Menendez brothers been different? They deserve manslaughter, but I don't feel like you know.
But they've also been in prison now for over like 20 years.
No, they've been in jail. Yeah, no, 35.
Because they, yeah, I was just saying, there's
Or
like
something like-
several. Because they got
yeah.
what in the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, they were arrested in 1990
Oh, so yeah, definitely over 20 years.
before I was born. Like,
Before I was born, before George was born, before Danette was born.
that is crazy.
We're all legal though.
Time
Here.
moves differently.
Yeah.
Those are some of the, like, I mean, whenever you have a life type sentence, you you definitely reflect on time a whole lot different than any other human in the world. They're some of the most intelligent humans that exist on this planet because
Yeah.
all they have to do is sit down and just understand what it is to be a human. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lawyers talk about, which by the way, if you haven't seen that show that I produced, it's called Tangled Rights. It's two lawyers and they talk about cases like this. They've had guests on. They've had like lady who's running for
Yeah.
for judge this upcoming election. But they talk a lot about like what they call, at least in the legal term, like battered wife syndrome, where it's like
Yes.
when a wife kills a husband, but it's because like he's abusive and he's
Yeah.
beating her or sexually assaulting her. Like then they go, okay, yes, you murdered him, but it was because you were in. It's basically self-defense.
Yeah. It's almost, it's like a lower level of a crime of passion. Like,
Yeah.
except it's more a battered wife that's more deserving, like
Yeah.
I don't get it. Just real quick, I know we are live on both channels. I know
We're live on like 5 right now.
Yeah,
We're live on
so-
Bizarre, yours,
yes,
Calls from Beyond.
I know the people in my chat, I know you guys are excited to hear the calls. Please be patient with us. If we don't have calls in the queue, we have to wait on calls. So call us now. And if you don't know what this is a live call-in show where you, the viewers, call us and tell us your creepy cryptid stories. And we listen and we give feedback. So we also do talk about other topics on here. It is a, would you say, a glorified creepy talk show?
It's a creepy talk show.
And we're human. We talk about pop culture, things that are trending. So please be patient with us. Thank you. But yeah,
I think the internet just went out.
did it?
At least for me, it did. It might not have for George because he's
Oh
hardwired.
no, it looks
George
like,
might be fine.
Somebody requested to join as guest.
Or wait, no. Or wait, no. Wait,
All right.
I don't know.
All right.
Nope, no internet again, bro.
War.
Please leave that door
Over.
open. Danette is literally
you're
dying.
coughing.
She's
Okay,
getting
hand me the-
colder and-
No, they're cough drops. They don't care. They think.
It should be 5G.